Morning, guys. I'm out here. It's a beautiful, freezing cold, sunny day in the morning. Yesterday was new bike day. Well, not new bike, not new, far from it. But I went out to Lynchburg and I picked up what I think is a deal on a 2002 100,000 mile V-Strom 1000. And I towed it home. You can see the remnants of the sketchy ride home that I had, towing it with this little rear-wheel drive Miata as the snow was pummeling us here in Virginia. Pummeling, we got like a quarter-inch of snow. But the roads were slippery. So this bike comes with all the factory painted luggage. I realize the lighting sucks right now, but I'm working with what I got. So factory painted luggage, hard cases. I did hear the bike run. It runs seemingly pretty well, and I was going to take it out for a test ride, but unfortunately the clutch would not disengage, so it seems like perhaps there's just no fluid in the reservoir, and so I didn't get to take a test ride, but I did get money off for that, so that was nice. Hopefully it's not a major problem, but I mean a hydraulic clutch is only so many parts. If I do have to rebuild a couple of a master cylinder and a slave cylinder or something like that. What to say? I mean, it's 100,000 miles on the clock of this motorcycle. It has seen some action, and it is a V-Strom, so that's the only reason I bought a 100,000 mile bike, is it's a V-Strom, and I think that, you know, it's one of the most reliable, known to be reliable engines out there. It's been made since this year, 2002, this year model, I should say. I believe this is the first year they made it. But in my research, it doesn't look like they had a whole lot of issues even from the get-go. They put this motor, the same motor was in the, I think it was the TL1000 sport bike, aka the Widowmaker. Is that one? I think it is. And in the V-Strom, it's just very, you know, it's a little under 100 horsepower. I think it's something like 85 to the wheels, but that's more than double what my Himalayan 450 has at around 40 horsepower, probably like 37 to the wheels or something like that. So it's got plenty of power. Give you a little close-up of the money maker right there. So a little dirty, a little oily, not too surprising for its mileage. I've got some work to do to clean it all up and get it back to good riding condition. But the plan is, over the next, I don't know, few weeks or so, while it's cold out, I will be working on just going through this whole bike. I'm hoping not to take the engine too much apart. It sounded like it was running pretty well. I'll probably end up taking the valve covers off, doing a valve clearance check on it, certainly do an oil and filter change, all the fluids, probably oil, coolant, brake fluid front and rear. Certainly need to address the clutch, so that might be a fluid and bleed situation, perhaps a rebuild of some of the cylinders inside of the clutch slave or master cylinder. I'd probably leave the fork oil alone for the time being until I get the rest of the bike up and running, so I can actually ride it around and see what it feels like, and check for any weeps in the fork seals and all that. But overall, I think I got a good deal on the bike. Really nice guy who sold it to me, and I enjoyed chatting with him. And I think this bike was given to him perhaps by his uncle, and he just never got around to being able to fix it up and learn to ride. And I told him, I mean, it's a 1,000cc motorcycle. It's a big, heavy, you know, I think it's like 523 pounds wet. That's not a great starter bike. It's not the worst in the world, but it's just heavy. So I told him that. I was like, you know, when you do get into motorcycles down the road, if it works out, get something smaller and you'll just have a better time with it. So But this is not my first motorcycle. This is probably my 28th motorcycle or something like that. And so I am ready for the 1000cc power. Not really interested in a leader bike, like a sport bike kind of power punch, but something that's comfortable, all speeds, touring setup, and that's what this bike should be. So I'm very, very excited about it. So I will keep you guys in the loop as I do work on it and find out more about it. He's alive. Had to jump start it, but this afternoon I spent most of my time taking out old wiring that was aftermarket stuff. A whole pile of junk, mostly that. So that felt really good. And nice to see this running. I see a little bit of smoke out of one of the pipes. I'm thinking each pipe is going to a single cylinder perhaps. Yeah, so getting a little bit of white smoke out of the rearmost cylinder. So I'll look into that at some point. For now, I'm just happy to hear it running, and I'm gonna let it warm up fully and just keep an eye on it and let it charge the battery back up, because the battery was pretty dead. The battery does not look old. I didn't see a date on it, but it's not terribly dirty or old looking. It's definitely not the factory battery. I would be extremely surprised with a bike with 107,002 miles to have the original battery. So that's no surprise there. A couple other things, getting to know the bike. I also looked through the service records that I have. Got a new coolant bottle here. That was added a couple of years ago by the dealership that's been doing the services. All the lights work on it. I've already checked through those. I won't show you, but it doesn't sound bad. It sounds pretty healthy. It's warming up a little bit. You can see that smoke has stopped. Could just be from sitting that, you know. Oh, now it started smoking a little bit on the other side, the front cylinder. I'm thinking that while it was sitting, it probably just accumulated a little bit of oil in the cylinders. Needed to burn those off. It hasn't been run a whole lot. The previous owner did come out and start it every week or month or so just to keep it fresh. But yeah, here we go. All right, still running well. The idle at warm-up was around 1450 maybe, and looks like it's dropped down to about maybe 1300, 1250, 1300, so I think that's a good range. Also, it's up to temp, you can see the gauge there. And I've noted that the fan for the radiator is kicking on and cooling it down. So the temp gauge will go up a little bit, fan kicks on, puts some air through there and cools it off. So that's working properly, which is great. The gas gauge is reading, I don't know if it's accurate, but it seems about right. It says I've got about 2/5 of a tank, and that's about what it looked like when I peeked inside. Yeah, so far so good. So as you can see, it smokes a little bit more when you rev it out. On the decel, it smokes. Doesn't seem to smoke during the rev, just on the when you let off the accelerator. So, not sure what that means. We'll see. Good morning, y'all. It is day 2 working on my new project bike, the 2002 V-Strom with 107 and 2,000 miles on it. And this morning the first thing I did was I bled the clutch. So it didn't have fluid in it. It had a little bit of residual fluid left, but not much. Certainly not enough to disengage the clutch. So I actually used an open bottle of .4 because this is not going to be the fluid that I leave in the bike. I just wanted to put it in there and test it, be able to test ride the bike, and then also look for where the fluid may be leaking from so that I can fix that. And then once it's all fixed, I can put brand new fluid in like it should be. So I am going to ride up the street and hopefully be able to run through all the gears, and we'll see how that goes. Actually in half decent shape. I'm planning on continuing to use it. The teeth on the sprockets are nicely shaped. They're not shark toothed yet. And it looks like it's got a 17 tooth front sprocket, and the factory comes with a 41 tooth rear sprocket, I believe, but this is a 42. And so it's just slightly different gearing. You can see this type of chain is the rivet style master link there. And all the links seem to be pliable. They hinge just fine, and so there's not a terrible amount of side to side play that I can see. So I'm gonna save my money for now and reuse that chain, or continue using that chain. So at this point, I've cleaned up just a ton of gunk all around the output shaft area where the clutch slave cylinder goes, and looks like I got a little bit of wet to clean up there before I put it back together. But I'm gonna put the bike back together, do some more test riding, hopefully do a proper test ride now that I've got the throttle cable fixed, and see what kind of leaking I might get from that clutch slave cylinder, which is, I suspect, leaking. But now that it's all cleaned up, I mean, I have somewhere a trash baggie full of just this wad of greasy gunk that was built up in road grime that was all in that area. So it was really difficult to see for sure if it was actively leaking or if it was just old. So now that it's cleaned up, I'll be able to test ride it some more and actually look for some fresh leaking from that slave cylinder.